12 hours a day than go play around with MMA and try to fight. And this is where real dudes come from, these type of places. And I don't know. I saw something tonight. We'll see how it goes. So you get him down to the right weight class. You get him training with a real team. You get him, you know. And the other thing that you got to look at is who he fought. He fought a guy who was minus 1,000, right? And look who he trains with every day. This guy's been killing people. He's 7-0. He's in the hospital. This kid isn't. What's that tell you? That ain't getting soft in my old age. There's something there.
When did you make the decision, right? Because the guy was entertaining. He was taking a lot of damage, but, you know, it's like, oh, is he showboating while he's losing?
No, it was an all-night process because, first of all, I was blown away that this thing went to decision. Then I told Hunter, send that guy straight to the hospital. Don't, you know, he might be one of those too tough for his own good kind of guys, and, you know, let's get him right to the hospital. Then I go in the back, and no, Magomed's at the hospital. And this kid's fine. They checked him 4 times. He's absolutely fine. He's good. He's in good spirits, and he just wants to go back to the hotel. So, you know, all night as this all just kept registering with me, and then I went out and literally didn't tell anybody except Laura Sanko that I was going to keep him.
That's amazing. You mentioned the weight class change. There were a couple guys tonight that you said probably weren't in the right weight class. Do you say that to him? Do you say, like, hey,
it's not tonight. It's most nights. I mean, when you look at guys who fight in other shows, you know, the last fight, I mean, this kid looks like an 85-pounder. He's never fought at 85, ever. And then Rodolfo looks like a heavyweight, you know. Yeah. But again, he was a 2-to-1 dog, Rodolfo, against a guy who looked like he's 85 pounds. The guy who looks like a heavyweight was the underdog, 2-to-1. So,
any standouts? I mean, we didn't necessarily get like the viral highlight reel moment, but you did have 3 stoppages. Was there any that stood out the most to you out of anybody that you're like, that's the one I like the most tonight?
Yeah, it would probably be who stood out the most tonight to me. It would have to be, I guess. Rufy would have to be the guy that stood out the most tonight. Although Rodolfo looked damn good. Damn good. I mean, the guy never stopped just trying to finish the fight. Punches, knees, elbows, kicks. He threw the kitchen sink at that guy.
Yeah. One other thing I did want to ask you about tonight, obviously we only had 4 fights, had a fighter miss weight significantly, and you guys decided to reschedule it. Were there like some extenuating circumstances? I think normally if somebody misses weight by 5 pounds, I'd imagine you'd be like, hey, thanks anyway, that was your shot. Do you know why it was decided to move that fight to next week?
Yeah, so Mick hit me and said that he had missed the weight. Mick still wanted to do the fight, so I said do the fight.
That doesn't throw you off? Like, I mean, obviously that's rule number 1 in fighting, right, is you got to make weight.
You're off to a bad start, kid, but, yeah, we'll see what happens. Nice, okay. But I'll definitely take that in consideration during the fight, too. But, you know, these guys trained, they got ready, and whatever. And Mick wants to do the fight, so I'm doing it.
Just a couple outside of tonight. We saw today Alexa Grasso went through surgery as well for her hand. Just curious if you could tell us about her condition and if that changes anything in terms of the plans and the schedule to do the rematch with them.
They both have hand injuries, so it's let's see what happens. I mean, traditionally those types of surgeries, you know, 6 to 8 weeks to start figuring out where they're at, and we got time.
A lot of the stories in the MMA world continue speculation about Bellator, and you've been asked a couple times. I'm just curious. Are you monitoring the situation with them at all? And do you care? Because I know in the past you said, like, hey, we need these organizations out there. And there seems to be a fear that maybe it could just completely go away. Are you monitoring that at all? And do you have any concern over what happens?
Literally not at all. I mean, obviously, if Bellator continues to exist, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. If you look at all the shit that we take about a lot of things, they're owned by fucking Viacom. You know how much money these guys have? Why would they be going out of business unless they're just tired of doing it? Because you're hearing rumors about Showtime, too, not just Bellator. So, you know what I think of Showtime as a company. There's no secret, you know. Again, I could go on for days about their production on Saturday. They tried to do it better. I noticed. Showtime, I noticed you tried to do it better, but you guys suck.
The last question I would ask, there was a story that came out today in SBJ that you would be interested in doing a show at the Sphere, obviously the hot new property. Is that just more like a, hey, we'll check it out, or is that like, we got to do a show inside this, amazing new venue?
No, it's not a check it out. I mean, I'm sure you guys that are here in Vegas, I mean, everybody was buzzing about the U2 concert on Saturday. They said it was incredible. The guys from MSG, whom I have a great relationship with, the guys who own it, MSG does everything right. Everybody that went, usually, let me tell you what happens, and you've probably been a part of this. When a restaurant opens for the first night, when a hotel opens for the first night, it's a shit show. And, there's lots of bad things. They're trying to figure it out. I haven't heard one negative thing about the opening of the Sphere. The exact opposite. Everybody talked about how incredible it was. And I'll tell you this, when you go to arenas in this city, right, and let's say you own a box or you go in a box, the food is horrendous. The food is unexplainably fucking disgusting. Let's just start there. What I heard, I didn't go, but what I heard is the food was outrageously over the top good. Everybody's experience getting in and out was good. From what I hear, the guys at MSG couldn't have hit a bigger home run with the opening of the Sphere. So it's not a meh, let's see how this goes. I mean, these guys are one of the biggest and best in all of the arena business. And they fly into Las Vegas. First of all, the balls to open that place and to do what they're doing. And then to come in and hit an absolute grand slam home run with the opening. And you all know that I want that date. That's what I want. I want to do Mexican Independence Day there. Imagine the show that I can put on at the Sphere with Mexican Independence Day. So, yeah, we'll fucking put on an incredible show in that amazing arena for the next Mexican Independence Day. So I'm very excited about it.
Nice. Dana, go back to tonight. With Medina, the Contender Series has been a great vehicle for guys coming into the UFC, and sometimes it's because there's like a quirky story around them, like Raul Rosas Jr., the youngest guy ever. Sean O'Malley's commentated by Snoop Dogg. Do you think the fact that he lost tonight but looked so tough and you've made this decision on the fly will bring more attention to him when he does make his debut?
No, that's a good question. That's definitely interesting. There's obviously a story around the guy, and the big question about him now is, am I right or am I wrong about this guy?
The first fight, Ruthie, he had some great success with the calf kicks early, and then during the third round, he sort of halfway through went away from them to get the finish with the hands. Do you, when you watch a fighter having success with those calf kicks and they stop throwing them, do you have an internal, like, come on, throw that kick again, or do you just sort of think, oh, well, what are they going to do?
Hell yes. I mean, that's one of the things. Remember when he walked back and talked to Laura Sanko, and she said, you two had a long conversation. Well, he doesn't speak English, so he doesn't know what the hell I was saying anyway. But I was saying to his coaches, he was picking him apart in that third round, right? He was using the leg kick in the beginning to set up all these great combinations, and then he completely abandoned the leg kick halfway through that round. And I was saying, when he goes back and looks at the tape, he finished him anyway. It's not like, I'm enlightening these guys or anything, but he ended up getting the finish anyway. But he looked damn good. And it would have been interesting if he kept throwing the leg kick and setting up the combinations, what he could have done. But, yeah, I mean, kid looked great tonight.
Agreed. Thank you.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
You mentioned, you've already talked a little bit about Bellator and Showtime, but I want to know about One Championship and Chaudhry's comments about the UFC fighters.
Yeah, so I get it. I got no beef with those guys. And, because I called out that production thing for Showtime, of course, he comes out and, says that today, or whenever he said it. But, yeah, I got no beef with those guys. That was an Espinoza thing, but you have to admit, the walkout thing was hilarious. And the guy comes out with the coffee, and it was like a Saturday Night Live skit. But, yeah, I wasn't trying to take a shot at those guys. It is what it is. And, I mean, in all honesty, what should my response be to what he said? I mean, I'll let that speak for itself.
UFC 295 is going to fall on Veterans Day this year. I'm just curious, there's a couple fighters on there that are veterans themselves and have asked to potentially have some shorts that honor them. Is that a possibility or have
Sure.
something? All right.
Absolutely.
That was easy. And also a fan mentioned a fight card that I thought was kind of interesting. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. they suggested that Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria fight, and then it's co-main O'Malley and Merab, and potentially have two Georgian champions on one night. What are your thoughts on that kind of a card?
When are they saying this? They're just saying,
Whenever,
oh, this would be great?
Whenever, yeah.
Sure. we have, I think we have fights made all the way up to like February 3rd or 10th or something like that. So we've got ideas for March and April. So
are any of those 4 fighters I mentioned?
What was the main event that you said?
The main event would be Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria.
Okay. No.
Co-main event.
No. We don't have any of those, no.
Well, you said
But
yes a minute ago.
who suggested this?
Just a fan. I just thought it was kind of
Well,
interesting.
thank you for your input, but no, we don't have any of those yet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dane over here.
Yep.
Is Jose Medina getting the contract the craziest story in Contender Series, given he's never had a proper coach and obviously the toughness he showed out tonight?
Is Jose what? What did he say?
Is that the craziest story, given like his background going into this fight and all that?
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that I'm signing him too. I mean, it's all crazy. I don't know. Well, we didn't find out he didn't have an MMA coach till after the fight. When I signed him, his guy came back and said, listen, this guy's never really had a coach. This guy just does this on the side. So it made me even like my decision more.
And I saw you mention there that Showtime tried to do a better job with the production. I'm assuming you're referring to this past Saturday, if that's correct.
Yes.
What did you think of the fight?
Let me give you an example. This is how good our production is. Did you see Pettis there tonight? Okay, so the kid that threw the Pettis kicks off the fence, there was 3 seconds left of the round, right? 3 seconds left of the round. I picked up my big red phone. I called the truck. I said, put those Pettis kicks in the package. No problem. Hung up the phone. They put the 3 seconds left of the round. They put them in there, and they showed Pettis. Now, if any of you were home watching that fight that night on Showtime, they were trying to do more replays. Their replays were so bad. There was a set of replays where in both replays, nobody landed a fucking punch. So then you got the commentators trying to talk about what's going on, and they were terrible replays. When you know production, right? These guys are they're a fucking major network. They're supposed to be anyway. Showtime, Viacom, whatever. That's the product that you're putting on. When you know what you're looking for and you know what you're talking about in the production world, there's nobody that can disagree with me that Showtime is a horrible, horrible fucking production team. And listen, maybe it's because they're not willing to stay in Bellator. They're not willing to maybe move forward with boxing. So what does that tell you? They're not putting any money into it. There's probably no money in it, and the guys can't do it. I don't know what the answer is, but it's embarrassing. God bless all of them that work on that show.
And I want to ask you about something non-fighting related for just a second. You actually own a PBR bull. How did that come together?
I'm deaf, so bear with me. And you're on my bad side. I did looking for a fight back in 15 or 16. Dumbest thing I've ever done, riding a bull. But after I did it, I kind of got into it. You know, we went out on this ranch. This guy, Dennis Davis, bucking bulls, his ranch. And I said, I want to get into this. I'll buy a bull. So I bought a bull. He didn't do very well. I bought another bull. He didn't do very well. You know, the bull business is a rough business. And finally, after all these years, I now have a bull that's actually going to buck in PBR. And this bull is nasty. Nasty, nasty. So he made it to the big time, and he's going to be here next week. He's coming to UFC. I'm going to have him out in the parking lot. Swear to God. He's going to be in the parking lot next week. You guys, hey, you got to do like a media day. Have the media come. This thing will scare the shit out of you, okay? They look at you like they want to kill you, okay? It's fun. You'll become hooked. And if you guys are in town and you're not in Abu Dhabi, he's going to be bucking at the PBR here in Vegas at T-Mobile. So those of you that are here, if you want to go, let us know, and we'll get you guys set up over there to go check him out. But yeah, he's going to be here. What day is he getting here? Huh? 16th of October. He'll be here. He'll be in the parking lot of UFC headquarters.
We'll be looking forward to meeting him then. But I also remember when Howler had sponsored Trackhouse and NASCAR. Do you guys have any other plans to venture into other sports and industries?
PBR.
Just PBR?
PBR. Yeah. They're sponsoring the truck that pulls them and stuff like that. Yeah. We don't have that kind of money yet. So we had fun with the NASCAR thing, and I'm actually meeting with NASCAR again this month.
Are you going to sponsor like a specific team or like working with NASCAR?
With NASCAR?
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I'm flying down to Arizona. Me and Lorenzo, actually. Me and Lorenzo are flying down to Arizona this month and meeting with all the powers that be of NASCAR and talking to them about some stuff. Because me and Lorenzo are working on a lot of stuff together again. So.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dana?
Yep.
Just want your thoughts on this coming weekend's main event, Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. Grant's finally getting his first main event, fighting a UFC veteran like Bobby Green. What do you, I guess just, what were your thoughts on Grant Dawson as a fighter? Like, I feel like he's one of the most underrated lightweight fighters in the division. Do you kind of feel the same way?
We're going to find out on Saturday. That's the beauty of this. It's what I love about the sport and about the matchmaking that we do here. The question is he underrated? Bobby Green is the perfect fight to find out if that's true or not. I love this main event, and I'm excited for it.
And then finally for me,
the whole card is good too. The Piper fight is a fun fight too, and yeah.
It's been about almost a month since Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya. Now that you've had a month to kind of think about it, is the plan for Sean to rematch Israel, or are you kind of waiting to see what the result is of Paulo Costa versus Hamzat Chimaev? Like, are you kind of just seeing how that fight goes, or do you kind of have a plan going?
Yeah, I mean, that fight just happened, and, a couple of fights are going to play out here now over the next month or so. And then we'll go from there and figure out what's next. Whatever the best fight to make when all is said and done, and who's injured, who's not injured, who can go, what time, where. There's a lot of different factors that play into what we're going to do next.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys done with me?
Hey, Dana,
Yeah.
What's the conversation like at home when you're saying, I'm going to buy some balls?
The conversation with who?
At home, when you're saying, I'm going to get into PBR balls, I'm going to buy balls.
It's not that I have I just kind of come home and tell everybody at home. I just bought some bulls. We're in the bull business. Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
I get like puppies. What do you cuddle a bull? What do you do with it aside from like bucket?
Well, you show up on the 16th and let me know if you can cuddle a bull. I'm telling you right now, this thing's going to scare the shit out of you. This bull is mean and nasty. And no, I got this guy, like I said, his name is Dennis Davis. He owns Dennis Davis Bucking Bulls. So he takes care of the bulls. He gets them ready, takes them out, and does all the stuff. So I'm just like I fund them and then watch them. And the goal is whether you get into the PBR bull thing or you get into horse racing or whatever it is, the goal is to win. And, it's a long, I just saw this incredible story on, I think it was on HBO, like Real Sports or one of those. And I don't ever really watch that stuff. But I watched it the other day, and it was the basketball player. Did you guys see this? The NBA basketball player. I can't remember his name, but he was a big guy in like the late 90s, 2000s or whatever. And he fell in love with NASCAR. Him and his dad went to a NASCAR race, and he ran into one of the big NASCAR stars, and he became obsessed with it. And he's been putting all his money into NASCAR all these years, and he finally just won a race. And I thought it was the coolest story ever, man. It was a really, really good story. So good I can't remember anybody's names or any of that shit, but it's a cool story if you look it up. I think it was on HBO Real Sports, but it's kind of like that. I got into it, and I like it, and I don't know how long I'll stay into it, but, we're going to the PBR. And we'll see what the result is after he he performs. We'll see where we go from here.
Just piggybacking off something John said about the Sphere, I know you've recently told us that whenever there's something in production, when it's finished, you always watch it before it goes to air. With the graphics on the Sphere, would you want to kind of have some say in like having some UFC custom stuff to be broadcast on the interior or even the exterior?
Absolutely, 100%. Yes, I mean, every time we do, we put on a production. We control, we film, we do everything. A to Z, we cover it all. You ever look at a production of ours, right? And you have a problem with it and you think it sucks, the buck stops right here. I am completely engaged in all the production, but we're such a well-oiled machine right now, and the team that we've built over the last several, these guys know exactly what I'm looking for. It's very rare that I pick up that red phone and I'm pissed off about something. And if it's something that I do get mad about, the consumer, would never even notice it anyway, but I do. And I'm just telling you guys this. Wait till you see October 25th. Wait till you see the production of the next slap event. I'm telling you right now. Wait till you see this. You guys already know the production. You know how fast when a slap ends, immediately the replay is up there from 30 different angles, right? And I told you before, we have more cameras than the NFL on Power Slap. All right. Now, as we go into the 25th, wait till you see the features and the vignettes and the things that we just shot last week. There's no HBO boxing didn't compare to what we're doing with Slap. It's just when you talk about television production in sports, it's not comparable.
With the Sphere and how good it looks, and you're saying about it, maybe having Mexican Independence Day there next year, does that make a fight at the Allegiant Stadium less likely?
You know that, with Allegiant, you have to have the right fight at the right time, and to sell that many tickets, you know what I mean? It's just, you'd have to have the right fight. I mean, when you think about stadiums, right, and especially in this country, I don't love the experience in a stadium. Now, when you go over to Australia and the UK, they're used to watching sporting events in stadiums. The United States, we're used to watching them in arenas. And I just think that when you're talking about fighting, you get such a better experience in an arena than you do a stadium. Although, we did Rousey versus Home in Australia, and it was awesome in the stadium. It took me 46 minutes to walk back to my green room, but you know what I mean? They're just used to experiences in stadiums more than we are here, especially fights.
Thanks, Dana.
Yep. Cool. What do you got?
One follow-up. I was just going to, you told Big Boy that you were going to watch Oscar De La Hoya's documentary.
I didn't yet. I didn't yet. I didn't yet. To be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of TV, but what I did love was the Nelk Boys interview with Canelo. First of all, let's start with this. How classy is Canelo? I mean, one of the classiest guys in the world. When I watched this, it's really the first interview that I've ever seen Canelo in, because obviously they're my guys. So I was watching the interview. Canelo is incredibly classy, but what have I told all of you for years about him being De La Hoya? And what did Canelo say? Yeah, and it isn't just me.
There are people in this world that still need me. Thank you. Tranquilo, aguinha tua ali também. Tem um monte de água ali, ali ó, lado esquerdo, se quiser. Topa tu. Quer colocar o óculos? Coloca o óculos. He asked, can I put the glasses on? Put the glasses on. There you go.
Now you represent the team. Nice. Well, congratulations on the victory and the UFC contract. I guess just tell us what the emotions are like for you right now.
Primeiro de tudo, parabéns pela vitória e pelo contrato. Fala pra gente as emoções no momento, como é que estão?
Pô, é um sonho sendo concluído, né? Viver isso é diferente de sonhar. Estou muito feliz, não dá nem para descrever com palavras. Eu preciso dormir e ver como é que eu vou acordar amanhã.
This is, the conclusion of a dream. And to actually live something that you dream is completely different. No words to describe it. I actually need to sleep and feel how I'm going to feel tomorrow.
Nice. Were you worried that the knockout streak was going to be over? It was a very tough opponent tonight.
Você achou que os nocautes consecutivos iam parar por ali? O cara era duro, né?
Sim, eu senti que ele estava mais pesado que eu e isso fez com que ele segurasse um pouco mais as mãos ali. Mas eu sabia que eu seguindo o plano iria dar certo. Eu queria machucar ele no primeiro round, cansar ele no primeiro round, o segundo round também dar essa mesma pressão para no terceiro voltar lá e finalizar, e deu tudo certo.
I noticed that he was heavier than expected, so I figured, let's hold back on the hands here a little bit. So I knew that if I followed the strategy, if I followed the plan, everything was going to be all right. So, kind of damage him in the first round, wear him out in the first round, second round, same thing, kind of continue that pressure, and just wear him off until the third round. And when you saw it, it happened, just dagger. I knew it was going to happen.
Very nice. The moment you had the finish, did you feel confident that you had the UFC contract, or were you worried that maybe it wasn't a fast enough finish or something?
Você, quando finalizou a luta, quando a luta terminou, você estava confiante que o contrato era teu, ou você falou assim, não foi rápido o suficiente, sei lá, o que estava na tua cabeça?
Eu estava confiante que eu iria assinar sim, porque a luta estava empolgante, eu senti que a luta estava empolgante. O primeiro round foi mais morno, mas depois eu fui vendo ali que estava empolgante, a galera estava gritando, e eu estava conectando as mãos nele, e eu percebi que ele não caiu antes por causa da diferença do peso, fez ele absorver melhor os golpes. Pô, mas eu estou muito feliz, cara. Pô, olha eu aqui na TV, sendo entrevistado por esse cara que eu já assisti 1 milhão de vezes na minha casa. Pô, não tenho nem palavras. Ivanzão.
I do things where when I was very confident when the fight ended because it was an exciting fight. I understand it was kind of lukewarm first round. Then the second round things got excited, but I think people liked it. I mean, we were able to actually put on a show towards the end, and I felt confident after it happened. So just such a good moment to actually be able to do that and put on a good fight, get the contract. I see myself on TV. I'm getting interviewed by a guy that I've watched 1 million times. Finally seeing everybody, and a shout out to his manager, Ivan.
That's awesome. And last question for me, I guess, your future in the UFC, do you see it at lightweight or welterweight or two divisions? How do you see your path going in the UFC?
Seu futuro no UFC. Leves, você vai subir de categoria? Como é que você, as duas, o que você vai fazer?
Bom, vou sentar para conversar com o meu treinador, com a minha equipe Fight Nerd, vamos resolver isso aí. Mas eu acredito sim que eu posso fazer as duas categorias. Estou pronto para trabalhar, quero trabalhar, sonhei tanto com esse momento e hoje eu estou aqui, a oportunidade que aparecer para mim, com certeza eu vou agarrar. E vou fazer história aí nesse evento. Pode anotar aí, coloca esse vídeo aí na gaveta do UFC, porque vocês vão assistir depois lá na frente. Ele falou que ia ser campeão e realmente foi. Bora.
I think, any of the divisions, I can see myself in any of them. I'm going to sit down, talk to my coach, talk to my manager, and see what's going on. But I see myself in both of them. I mean, I just want to work. I came here to work. It's such a long time to be able to be here. And that makes me want to work so much. And file this. to the UFC drawers and files and say, this guy said, I want to be a champion of UFC. I'm going to be a champion of UFC. One day you're going to look back and like, well, he said, I told you so.
It's okay.
Tranquilas.
Thanks so much.
Good with the aterrizamos bit? Yeah. Twitter and Instagram?
I would do most of these
Yeah, going forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there'd be like Dana White and the main.
El agüita es tuyo también, ahí al lado izquierdo hay un montón de aguas, ahí latitas.
Bienvenido.
Hola, buenas noches. Muchas gracias por la entrevista.
Good evening. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you for the time. Congratulations. I imagine the emotions are still kind of setting in right now, but what is the feeling for you?
Gracias por tu tiempo. Me imagino que las emociones están así a full, pero ¿cómo te sientes en el momento?
Salud.
That explains it
¿Lo
all.
abriste? ¿Lo abriste? It's open. This is a legit sip.
Sí, la verdad que me siento muy agradecido. Sabía, mi entrenador Raúl Letram me dijo que si daba una buena pelea, no importaba el resultado. Y la verdad que le agradezco a él por la estrategia y se lo debo a él ahora.
Thank you so much. Very, very grateful. Raul from Interim actually told me, if you put on a good fight, he knew, like, if you put on a good fight, it doesn't matter the result. He's going to look at effort, and he's going to look at this, and that's what I did. I went with everything, and I put on a good effort, and there he goes.
Overall, like you said, a great effort, but I'm sure not the result you wanted in the fight. I mean, at the fight's conclusion, how did you feel about your performance?
Obviamente, el esfuerzo se veía, pero el resultado no fue aquel que esperabas. De cualquier manera, ¿cómo te sentiste cuando terminó la pelea?
Sin desmerecer a mi rival, pensé que era un poco más duro, tal vez en el wrestling, pero la verdad que pude pararme tranquilamente. La verdad que tuve un poco de nervio al principio por pelear en las grandes ligas, ¿no? Pero la verdad que me sentí cómodo dentro de todo. Me faltó lanzar un poco más de volumen, no pude patear por ciertos problemas que venía en el camp, pequeños problemitas. Pero la verdad que sí. Hay mucho que mejorar, pero hubo una buena performance para mí.
I don't want to, put down or just underestimate or actually, say anything about my opponent. But I really thought he was going to be tougher than I expected, especially in the wrestling. And there I was able to actually defend the takedowns, keep standing up, and obviously I was able to keep up with him. I think I could have done better. There are things that I can improve. For example, I should have, just gone a little more for it, put some more volume. There's a lot of stuff to actually improve, but I felt that I had a good fight.
So the story goes, you go back to the hotel, you get told to come here. When do you figure out that you have when did you actually understand you were getting a UFC contract?
La historia que volviste al hotel, te llamaron y te dijeron, regresa. ¿Cuándo fue el exacto momento que te diste cuenta que el contrato era tuyo?
Estábamos volviendo ahí con un amigo mío que traje de Bolivia y le dije, fuck, man, no van a llevar al hospital. Y ya ni modo, le dije, perdimos toda la noche. Y cuando llegué, ¿qué pasó? No, este no es el hospital. Y nada, todo fue sorpresa. La verdad que hasta ahorita no me la puedo creer y voy a dar la talla. Voy a dar la talla para la UFC. Vamos a bajar oficialmente a las 185 libras.
I was going back with a friend of mine from Bolivia, and we're like, man, no way. I mean, lost the fight, not getting this. And all of a sudden, we're like, hold up a second. I mean, they're going to take me to the hospital. I'm like, hold up a second. This ain't the hospital. So I came back, and everything was surprise. Everything that you saw, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And I still cannot believe that I'm here. I'm in the big leagues here, just to be in this thing. But we're going to go for it all, and we're going to make some history at 185.
And Dana said he was told that you've never had a true MMA coach before now. Is that accurate?
Y Dana ha dicho a nosotros acá durante la entrevista, supongo que nunca has tenido un coach exactamente de artes marciales mixtas. ¿Eso es verdad que no has tenido un coach específico?
Sí, sí, lo tuve, pero hace 3 años que me entreno yo solo. Entonces voy a hacer campamento y vuelvo, voy a hacer campamentos y vuelvo. Y yo entreno a mi propia gente para que sean mis sparring.
I've had MMA coaches in the past, but for the past 3 years, I have trained myself. So I go, do camp, come back. I do camp, come back. I actually train people to be my sparring partners.
Nice. Last thing I think you touched on, the future is at middleweight. That's where you see yourself contending in the UFC?
También algo que mencionaste, el futuro en 185, ¿es esto? ¿Es ahí que estás en la UFC, en esta edición?
Sí, la verdad que nos pasamos mucho en el corte de peso y mi coach me dijo, no, vos sos una 185 libras, entonces de ahora en adelante yo le hago caso a todo lo que él me diga.
We couldn't get through during the weight cut. He was very, very clear, and everybody that was assisting me, coaches, is like, this is it. This is 185, and there's nothing much that we're going to do past that. I mean, that's it. 185 it is.
Entonces, durante la pelea tu esquina te decía, párate, párate, párate. ¿Sentiste alguna frustración durante todo eso?
During the fight, your corner was saying, just, stand up, stand up. Was there any frustration during the fight?
La verdad que yo sentía que él cargaba la patada, entonces me levantaba un poco tranquilo porque sentía que si me levantaba de uno, que es lo que él quería, me iba a patear y tal vez me conectaba, ¿no? Entonces por eso lo tomé un poco con calma levantarme.
Oh, sorry. Actually, during the fight, I felt that if I stood up a little too much and I just basically kind of raised my, got into a stand-up position, he was really going to get me and connect with kicks. So I was very hesitant, just kind of like, hey, I'm not going to stand up that much. So I just took my time to get into standing.
Y después de la pelea mencionaste tu amor por Bolivia y toda Latinoamérica. ¿Cómo se siente ver todo el crecimiento de las artes marciales mixtas en Latinoamérica? ¿Y tienes algún mensaje para los fanáticos de Latinoamérica?
During the interview, when actually you found out that you got the contract, you talked about all your love for Bolivia and all for Latin America. You could see the passion there. So any messages that you have for everyone in Bolivia and everyone in Latin America?
Crean en su sueño. Yo ya perdí la lucha y miren cómo me dieron un contrato. O sea, es trabajo duro, no importa si no tenés entrenador, habla, me ensaya por Instagram, alguien si te puede entrenar y todo se puede, todo se puede.
Believe in your dreams. Listen, I lost the fight, and here I was, just continue to train, continue to go at it. I didn't have a coach, just find people to train. I don't send some DMs onto people and say, hey, you want to come train with me? Just continue to do things, just go for it all. Keep doing it, and you'll come back.
Felicitaciones.
Gracias.
Hablaste un poco de peso medio. ¿Es posibilidad real? ¿Has peleado antes en esa categoría y esperamos verte en tu futuro ahí?
You talked about middleweight in the past. Have you fought at middleweight before? Is there something that's a possibility?
Peleé hace 6 años y la verdad que ahora que estoy con gente profesional, sabían que tenía algunos déficits, me pusieron nutricionista y fue muy fácil llegar a la 205, que antes yo cortaba al triple y me costaba llegar a la 205. Ahora no me costó para nada, se lo agradezco a mi compañero de Entran, ahí del garaje. La verdad que sin ellos no lo hubiera logrado, pero sí, fue tan fácil. Bueno, no fácil, ¿no? Porque toda la noche dormía con hambre, pero sí se puede, está dentro del plan. evaluado por un nutricionista, ¿no?
I think that this time I've done it in the past, about 6 years ago, but now I'm with professionals, and with professionals, I mean, I saw even during the weight cut, it was just such a different thing. It was so smooth. I was able to actually reach weight at the desired weight with no problem. It was smoother, and it was easy. I mean, easy, not that easy because I'm always hungry, but it was easier, and I think I can actually keep the weight.
Y al final, para mí, mencionaste algo de, no sé si te entendí bien, una lesión, por eso no pudiste tirar las patadas. Obviamente, pudiste pelear, aquí te vimos en acción, felicidades. Qué bueno que no sucedió algo más serio, pero ¿qué pasó con eso?
And you did mention a little bit something that of a particular injury that might have happened during camp, that for that you were able to actually get the kicks going. Anything serious? What do you say about, did that really impede you from actually having better performance?
No, la verdad es que era una pequeña inflamación, pero cada que pateaba, la desinflamaba y pateaba y volvía a inflamar. Entonces decidimos cortar la patada. Entonces me sentí la verdad que sí un arma porque me tiraba la calkil y yo quería devolvérsela y sabía que no podía.
Actually, there's something that we talked about. I mean, I had a bit of inflammation in the process, so everything, the inflammation would come down, and all of a sudden I started kicking, and it would come back. So we decided it was best to not do that. So it was kind of frustrating in the sense that every time he went for kicks, I really wanted to come back at him with calf kicks too, but I was like, I couldn't. So I had to hold myself a little bit.
Gracias, man. Felicidades. Viva Bolivia.
Viva Bolivia. Thank you.
Sure. Like Jose posted the video on the page, how like about Floyd flexing his muscle. All of a sudden, this turns into we know. I have a hat that says the best ever. I bought it from you, dude. I get it.
Seja bem-vindo, sente-se. Aguinha ali, lado esquerdo, tem monte de água para você. Tá em casa.
Victor, congratulations on your victory and the UFC contract. It seemed like a very emotional moment for you. What are you feeling now?
Vitor, parabéns pela vitória e pelo contrato no UFC. Pareceu um momento muito emocionante para você. Como é que você está se sentindo?
Pô, tô me sentindo muito feliz, né? Porque esperei por isso 25 anos, bem dizer, que eu treino desde os meus 5 anos de idade. Então, para mim foi a maior felicidade que eu senti na minha vida. Eu não tenho nem palavras para expressar.
I mean, such a happy moment. If you think about this, I mean, I've been waiting for this for 25 years. I've been working at it for 25 years. I started at this at 5 years old. So the happiest moment of my life, I have no words to describe it.
Was there any point along the way during that journey where you thought maybe it's not going to happen for me?
Teve algum momento durante essa jornada longa que você mencionou que você, pô, isso não é para mim?
eu sou um ser humano, então com certeza teve vários momentos na minha carreira onde ali, como se diz, foi muito difícil, eu pensei em desistir mesmo. Mas sempre teve aquela vozinha, sempre teve aquela voz interior que falava, ei, continua, continua, keep going.
I'm a human being, so I do have to admit that there were moments in my life that that things were tough, and I heard that. Thankfully, I heard that voice. There's always that voice in the back of your head that says, you know what, keep going. You gotta go. Keep going. Don't let it out.
Very nice. Obviously, a very game opponent tonight. I guess how did the fight play out versus your expectations, and were there any surprises in there?
E também hoje o oponente veio duro, ele realmente veio com propósito. Teve algum momento ali da luta que você achou que isso ia ser um problema para você, porque o cara estava duro e realmente veio para lutar?
É a mesma coisa quando no Natal você dá um brinquedo para o seu filho. Ele vai brincar, quando ele enjoar, ele vai chutar e jogar fora. Era isso que eu estava fazendo com ele. Eu estava só brincando. Quando eu decidi finalizar a luta, eu finalizei.
This is like when you give your kid a gift on Christmas Day. The kid's going to play with the gift, and at one point, he's going to kick it to the curb. So that's pretty much what I was doing. Like I played around them, and I was like, listen, it's time to finish this off, and I finished it.
Very nice. So now, knowing how long your journey was to get here, what's your goal from this point? Is it do you feel you need to rise up the ranks quickly? Do you still feel like you're developing? Like, how do you see your path?
E agora, com a vitória, com o contrato, estando aqui dentro, qual que é o próximo passo? Você acha que já tem que tentar se meter no ranking o mais rápido possível? Você acha que o negócio é seguir um caminho para entrar no ranking, ou seja, luta após luta? Qual o caminho que você vê para você no UFC?
Por mim, a minha próxima luta seria contra um top 10 ou um top 5. Eu não dou a mínima, eu estou pronto.
If it was for me, my next fight would be against a top 10, top 5. I don't give a damn. I'm ready.
Right after your win, I don't know if the mic picked it up in the cage. You were like, "Is there no one else?" What was going through your head that moment? Was that something you were just ready to say and just call like the message to the rest of the division?
Quando acabou a luta, a gente escutou o microfone e você falou, pô, não tem mais outro não? Não tem mais outro? Foi mais ou menos o que a gente escutou. Você pode dizer o que você falou. O que estava passando na tua cabeça quando acabou a luta e você falou para a câmera?
Eu bati, eu acho que em 9, 10, 12, não sei, eu perdi a conta. E se tivesse que bater em mais alguém para conseguir esse contrato, eu bateria em mais alguém essa noite para conseguir esse contrato. Eu vim determinado a pegar esse contrato e eu queria esse contrato e eu consegui esse contrato. Era isso que eu queria dizer.
You know, I went through 9, 10, 11 dudes. I even lost count of how many people I had to beat up to actually get here. So if I needed to beat someone else up tonight to get this contract, I would have done it. That's what I meant. I mean, I've gone through a bunch of people. If one more, I'll do it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a very impressive performance and, of course, securing your UFC contract. So how does it feel to finally get it this time?
Parabéns pela performance e assegurar esse contrato no UFC. Como é que você se sente em finalmente conquistar esse contrato?
So I feel so good. It's my second time here, and right now, inside the UFC, it's a big dream for me, and I'm so happy, brother. Thank you so much.
You know, it's basically 1 year ago, right? You come here, you come up short, you battle your way back. Coming here a second time, were you excited to get another opportunity, or were you almost like frustrated that I got to try to do this again?
Basicamente, 1 ano atrás, você veio, as coisas não aconteceram como você queria, você foi lá, batalhou, voltou para cá, e o sentimento é o quê? É você fica legal, fica empolgado com a oportunidade de ter a sua próxima oportunidade, nervoso, como é que é, ansioso, como é que é esse sentimento de voltar?
No, I'm so excited for the second opportunity. I know in my mind, if I win, if I give it a show, I will sign with UFC, you know. So I come here with, I go to the war and I want a knockout, I want a submission. So that's it. I'm a tractor.
You were very dominant in the fight, but he was a very durable opponent. Were you getting concerned at all that, like, why will this guy not go away?
Você dominante e ele duro na queda. Você achou que teve uma hora, pô, esse cara não vai cair?
Oh, yes. But I know he is a really tough guy. He is 18-0. So it's a big guy. It's a strong and a wrestler. So I'm very prepared. I train a lot for this fight. And this victory is representing a lot for me.
Very nice. Your path in the UFC, do you see it as a light heavyweight? Do you see, where do you see your future in the UFC?
E o teu caminho no UFC, você vê em que categoria você vê, em que divisão você se vê no UFC?
Oh,
que divisão que você quer?
Minha categoria.
Isso.
Como fala minha categoria mesmo?
Division.
Oh, my division is light heavyweight, but I wanna work in UFC. You know, if Dana say to me, "Oh, you need to fight in heavyweight," I'm ready. You need to fight in light heavyweight, I'm ready. You know, I wanna fight. I wanna work in UFC.
Is it important to face Vitor Petrino again at some point?
É importante a revanche contra o Vitor Petrino?
Oh, for sure. I talked for him. One day I will win you. So, yes. I want this fight. So, first I need to stay in the UFC. I recover my face, and if Dana wants, I'm ready for the fight with Vitor Petrino.
Nice. Last thing for me, I did want to ask, it's been a busy year for you, so I'm just curious, when do you want to make your UFC debut? Do you need some time off? Do you want to wait till next year? Like, when do you see yourself making your debut?
E a minha última pergunta, um ano atribulado para você até o momento, mas você quer continuar ocupado, quer lutar agora até o final do ano, quando é que você quer estrear?
I'm ready for the fight. This cuts, cicatriz in 1 week, and I'm ready for the fight. I'm not hurt. I feel so good. I wanna fight. I'm ready for the fight.
What did Vitor tell you when you told him you would beat him one day?
E o que o Vitor falou para você quando você falou eu vou ganhar de você?
He told for me, I wanna fight with you in a big event of the UFC, and let's do a show for everyone.
It's like a little friendly banter between you guys.
Foi amigável, foi um papo bacana.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much, brother.